Okay, so I'll start with XRP, and it's pretty straightforward where we are at the moment. But I'm going to go large and make an argument for the lift, the breakup. Not right now, but I think in this, it looks like it's going to spill. It really does. But I can see an argument for the pump, so I'm going to make that today. Yeah. So this on a bigger scale is, I love pointing this out. You can see the first bull run for XRP, and then this is the second one. There's only been, for me, there's only been two bull runs with XRP. So Skyline, you know, drops down to the spike actually here. Oh no, sorry. First drop should be here. I have to put in Mountain Peak. We're coming down for a final bounce. There will be a retrace here and then a breakup. So you can see, if I use the pink lines, the curvature lines here, yeah, you can see that there's this final space that we're moving in, and then there will be a breakup, yeah. The levels at which it's going to go, you can see the white line here. So you can see this one here and this one here. So this one, again, you see the support and resistance. So potentially we could go to 26. We could go down to there's 25. I know we could go all the way down to I'd say down to, not down to here. I'd say about the early 20s possibly, yeah. Possibly. But you can see that the space, there's not much more to go before we have a real parabolic story going on. So that's what I like to point out. But now let's get a little bit more refined. Here's the same chart, and you can see the final dump before the pump on this bull run. It did a drop of 68.33%, 68.36%. On this one before the impulse, the pump up, it did a 67.46 drop. At the moment, this drop has done a 68.65 drop. So they're all matching at the moment, yeah. So for sure, it could start dropping through these levels. It could for sure, yeah. But at the moment, it hasn't. And I think when we zoom in, is I believe we're coming down to a correction down here around 30, 50. So this is on the day, on the weekly at the moment, yeah. But you can see, I think it's going to bounce off this blue line, and potentially we go back to the top of this line here at 36, 37. Is we get a small retrace, and then we head on up, and we're going to go on the weekly to the 55 on the weekly, which would take us back up to 68 at the moment. But basically bring us back up to the wedge, the top of the wedge here, yeah. And again, this support line here, this yellow support line. So we could pop up here, head back down again, bounce somewhere here, and then head on up. And that's what happened here. Is it hit the bottom, it came up, bounced, and then broke through. Now this is on the weekly, so these are months. So you see, this is like 2 months, you know. Same here. It dropped, it came back up, did a little bounce, and then up it went. So it's still holding form. It's following the same form. Why would it go lower? I'd say this is the natural pathway, so to speak. Why would it go lower? Because the DeFi mess probably hasn't fully imploded yet. I think there could be a bunch more exchanges or a stable coin that is going to go to the wall. So when that comes out, that might force things down to just a completely different level. Yeah. So I'm well aware that could happen. So now let me make my argument again. Continue for the pump. Here's this chart, and again here's the wave. This is on the daily now. We're coming down here, so look at this center line. So this center line through it all. So you got one half, you got the second half, and again there's a very clear argument to say potentially we're coming down to touch off 26, yeah. But you can see the different levels. Come down to these different levels as we go along, yeah. Excuse me. Now, why would I argue about it not coming any lower? Yeah, is I'll go into the RSI on the daily. Yeah. Now this RSI on the daily has really stretched out, really stretched itself out, pushed beyond the normal pattern of the previous dailies. It's broken it. However, there's still, I'll point this out to you now, just need to make this a little bigger. You can see the bottom here of the RSI on this, from this top, come all the way down to the bottom, yeah? So there's a bottom there, and look, it comes up, it capitulates, it drops again, but it doesn't drop below. So what we have here is a bullish divergence, because look, RSI is lower here, and RSI is higher here, but price action is here, and then price action is lower. So that's a bullish divergence, and from that is the RSI has been moving up again. So it looks to me like the RSI on the daily wants to go to the top again, simply because of the pattern it's in now. So that a drop down to this blue line again would be this impulse will be the correction of this impulse. We get a bounce back up here, we get a retrace, and then we get a continuation on up, and that this lift will take us up. Will take us up to mid-40s, but possibly heading up towards the 60s, where this daily RSI will top out again, and then we take our journey back down again. Yeah, so that's what this is telling me. So you can see that the yellow line here is going up, but the price action is coming down. Yeah, so that's my argument for we could be in, and this is on the daily. We could be here for an impulse where we're looking at a 1, a 2, and then a push away for 3. Around the 40s, we'll get that W, you know, and then we'll start getting the scoops. We get a 3, 4, 5. So that's what I'm looking at, potentially a 1, 2, and then up we go. Yeah. So that's my argument for the pump. But I will tell you is the MAs look as dumpy as hell. They look like they could just keep going and going down, down, down. That's the truth of it. So now I'm zoomed out on this chart because again you can see the blowhorn expanding out. We're coming down here. So now again look at this. Look at this. I'm zooming out, so I want you to look at this support line, support and resistance line here. Yeah, is the next one below it is 20, 25. Next one below it is pretty much at 19. Yeah, I do believe this is a potential target. We could, if looking at the MAs, we could absolutely be coming down here. However, is we are coming back. Excuse me. We are coming back. This impulse, we're having its correction, and it just happens to be that the 786 is on this line at 30, 45 or so, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to have this 786 bottom out correction, have a bounce back up to somewhere. I'm not sure where we're going. Well, we might hit the top of this line, but somewhere between this red channel, blue channel, and white channel. So around 36, 37. Yeah, and again a possible bounce, and then up we come. So that's why I wanted to just show you that line there, yeah. And then you can see it here in the channels, yeah. So you can see the daily is proper on its way. So now we'll talk about that in a moment. Let me just go to this one. Here's the 15-minute arc. Here's this impulse that I've been talking about, yeah. So when I put the fibs on it, again you can see it spilling. You can see it's after breaking the 702. I'm pretty sure it's going to wick down to this 786. It might even go through it a little bit, yeah. It might even come onto this blue line. It may even come. What is that blue line? Is look at this center line where this blue line here has been resistance, then it became support, then it was resistance, and potentially the correction might want to go a little bit lower and touch off this blue line. But I think the 786 is the general target, yeah. And then from there, let's say it is 786, yeah. Let's say it is there. Let me just put a little line in. Okay. Oh. Then the correction back up. Again, there's the 786 at 36.97, 37. So again, I said this in the videos the other day as well. So we're looking at a range of 618 between 35.6 and 37 or so. Yeah, and again, that will be back up to resistance peak on the arc. Yeah, so that's potentially is the bounce, and the argument for the up is what I've shown you in the charts. It's a pretty solid argument for that. Yeah, is the bit that I struggle with is the MAs. The MAs, I'm going to now flip and tell you how brutal the MAs look for the spill, because the spill looks brutal with the MAs. So I'm just waiting for the week. Okay, so a lot of the MAs turned last night. They took a turn. So there's the weekly. Just zooming out to the weekly. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to show you the 3 week, because I pointed this out to you the other day, and I'm just going to remind you of it now. On the 3 week, there's the 5 crossing over the 50 MA on the 3 week, and it's doing it pretty close to price action, where the power of the push, it's well within the zone for pressure to push down. So this is hard to ignore. Yeah. Now you can see the lift up, and look at this long rejection wick. So again, is the bottom of the Bollinger on the 3 week is 25. So for sure, the monthly's going to turn tomorrow as well. So that would be interesting to see what the Bollinger in that is. Yeah. So here's the 2 week. Internet is a bit laggy now. Okay, there's the 23 is the Bollinger. Here is the weekly. 18 is the Bollinger, the weekly. And look, you can see it's in proper spill mode. It just looks brutal. Now the 6 day, this turned at 12 o'clock last night, and again you can see the spill mode it's in, and the Bollinger there is 22, 27. So this all looks like it's going to go for a big drop, which is counter to my other argument. But this is what the MAs look brutal. There's the 5 day, the Bollinger, and that's 27. So this does not look good on the dailies. Yeah. Now this is where it sort of changes a little bit. You can see the 5 and the 4 turned, and again maybe we can go down here 28.90. Maybe we get the correction down here of this impulse, and that it gets a lift, and again that lift will get it back above these MAs and surprise us all and turn things around. For sure that can happen, but at the moment it looks pretty brutal. You can see that this 5 is gone sideways on the 3 day, and the 10 is coming down strong. So you would need to get the turn. Try to get to turn this 10 MA here. Yeah. So again, if you get the correction, it comes back up, and again on the 3 day, the 10 cuts through price action and turns around and becomes support, and that's how we could get a lift if it was going to go up. Yeah. Now here's the 2 day. Okay, sorry about the delay. Okay, so again, the 2 day here is, look, the 5 try to get through, is the 10 cuts through, and again it's looking a bit spilly. Yeah, but again, this is also part of the formation of a turn. The 5 lifts up, the 10 breaks through. You know, you get the bounce, is one of them turns and does a lift, yeah. And you can see the 20 on the 2 days is starting to go more sideways. So there is a potential for a lift, but you can see how rough it looks. Now when you go onto the 1 day, again there on the Bollinger on the 1 day is 30.40, which again is when you put the fib on this, the 786 is there. So that looks sweet for a touch and then a correction, yeah. Now just notice here on the Bollingers here is you get the drop. It comes back again, comes back and floats, bounces back onto the bottom, hits the top Bollinger here, comes back down to the bottom and drops again. So it seems like it's potentially in a similar pattern here. It drops, it comes up to the top of the Bollinger. The correction today is the bottom of the Bollinger, and then the impulse from that will take it back up to the top of the Bollinger. Again, there's the 50 MA on the daily. Back up by the time we get a couple of days into this, it'll be around the 37 mark, yeah. And then after that is are we going to get a rejection and float and drop, or are we going to get the lift? That's the question, yeah. So now I'm going to flick a little bit faster through these because I know I'm trying to keep my time nice and tight. I'm not tall, but I'm not tall. No, I'm not. But I know I should. Is here's the 12 hour, and again there's a spill here. Let me just. I think what we're doing now is the reason why I'm going in here now, I think we're doing the blow off top, as in the blow off bottom here, is that it's done its impulse. This was the 3, this is the 4, and now we're just doing our final push down for wave 5, hitting our target, yeah. So you can see the 6 hour, the 4 hour. Yeah. Okay, and again, look how spilly it looks. It looks like it's just going to keep going. But as you zoom in, this is likely, so I'm going to skip through a few hours. 1 hour. Okay, so again, is one of the things we need is for a strong push down. And again, if it gets a strong push down to the 786 about here, if you get enough of a push down, what happens is that price action moves away from the MA and the VWAP here, and then it gives the space to turn up a little bit, yeah. So that's what I reckon is going to happen. We've got to still confirm it all, but that seems to be what the play of it is, yeah. On the short term, is then after that is you can see how the daily MAs are looking like it wants to spill and go and go and go. And as you get a little closer in, is you can see the potential for a turn up, but it's not looking like it's an easy task with regards to the MAs, yeah. So now I'm just going to finish out here and just give you some targets here. Sorry, this is really laggy today. Okay, so here's my general targets for today. Yeah. I reckon we're looking at a bounce at about 30.45. To be honest, it's the same as what I've been saying the last couple of days. Yeah, I think we're going to come down to somewhere around the 786. We're going to bounce off that, and we're going to come up to somewhere around zone 36.50 to 37.25. My only caveat on that is that if there is a spill that wants to just go, we might get a smaller correction. So that's one thing I'm being very cautious about. It drops to the 786, it comes up to the 05, turns around, and then just dumps. So I'm super cautious that we may get that. So around the 33, 34, I'd just be very cautious about how price action is moving. Yeah. Other than that, it looks more like it's going to be a down. up here, bounce, and then the question mark here is which way is it going to go? The daily say it's going to spill, but as we get the lift up here, the question is, when you get the lift up here, how high does it go? The higher it goes, the better the chance that on some of the 1 day, the 2 day, that the 5 and 10 can get under price action again and give it that lift. And we want to see on the daily, the 20 MA on the daily turning to get that lift up. So that's really what we need to see. So that's it. That's it for now. Let's see how it plays out, and I will hand you over to.
Can you
Michaela
disconnect the screen? Good morning, guys. Let's see where we are now. We've made a drop this morning. Asia ended with a drop. Let me just switch this. Oh, lovely. Bit of drilling. Well, that's the soundtrack for our nerves this morning if you're in lungs. So last night we had a very nice lift here out of this wedge. Apparently it was a beautiful fake out, faking to hold the midline. Can you guys hear me?
I'll just keep going.
Yes. Okay. So we've had a fake out over the midline. It was holding beautiful support on the 1 hour for about an hour, and then it started coming back into the wedge, and it continued dropping out of it. It hasn't yet dropped to the bottom line of this channel, which is where I expected it to go. Again, we were in the middle of a channel, and now we're coming towards the bottom of it. There are two scenarios. There are two scenarios. Now, if we retrace from here and not touch the bottom, chances are great. Yes, sorry, I keep forgetting. My eyes are so used to smaller screens. So if we retrace from here and go higher, it looks like we have a nice lift off from where the RSIs are at the moment on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minute. So all the intervals seemed to be lined.
Something really small. You have to make it bigger, because I know it's big for you, but when people are looking at their phones, you have to.
Yeah, but I want them to see the whole.
Yeah. But when you're talking specifically.
So,
it looks small.
I know, but you're.
I'm not disturbing you. I'm also telling you that it's going to be tiny on the phone.
Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. Roy thinks it's too small, and I keep telling him, it's again. You get the chance to see this when I post it as well, and you can see the bigger time frame picture and what I mean.
You're talking about it right now.
We're having a conversation now, and I should be doing my TA. So, at the moment, it looks like we, to me, having seen this a couple of times, it looks like we should go down and bounce off the bottom line. So, 19K should be tested. It's a very good sign if we don't come down and retest 19K. So generally when a swing doesn't reach the bottom of a channel, it shows that there's more buying momentum, and it will retrace up a little faster than when it does reach the bottom. So when reaching the bottom, it takes some time to consolidate there. If it doesn't reach the bottom, for instance, as it did here in this, it went up, tried to do a retrace, generally it comes up with a bit more gusto. So we'll see soon enough today. We have the London session and we have the New York session that will play out. These are my two options, just to clarify them. We might see a retest of the bottom and then come up, or we might see it coming up from here. I do see it coming up from where it is, at least in the short term, over the course of today and maybe tomorrow, because it needs to take a little bit of a breather. On the 1 hour RSI, we've had so much. So let me show you from where it started. So where this channel started, we haven't yet had an overbought situation. So to me, this channel looks like a huge accumulation channel. Again, for the amount of times that we see oversold, I have noticed that there are overboughts to balance it all out. We haven't yet been in the overbought situation. It hasn't yet come out of it on the 1 hour. So I'm waiting for that to happen. And we'll know when it reaches the 21/22K area what's going to happen. Now that would be my lift off scenario and how it would play out. The other option would be dropping out of this channel downwards, coming for a double bottom. We will know when it breaks this line. So as it breaks this line, we'll know if it's coming. Again, that's the least likely scenario.
My God, they're right on us.
I am so sorry, guys. It's literally in the corner of the room. So I don't know if you guys can still hear me over that. I don't know how well this blocks out background noise, but yeah. Okay, now in terms of the MAs, we hold zero support, so we don't have too much support. It's the Bollinger on the 4 hour. We've lost whatever it was that we gained last night. The Bollinger on the 12 hour. So again, just like XRP, it looks terribly spilly. It looks like that until we get some opposite momentum kicking in, and sentiment can change quite quickly. We need to keep an eye on it. I have that channel line at 19K that I'm watching for. The Bollinger on the day would be at around 17,000, and that might be a possible retest if it goes for the double bottom. Yeah, to me, again, I know I'm going. It looks, the MAs look tragic, to be honest. But I think it needs a little bit of relief upwards. I don't know if it's gonna break the 21.5, 21.2 area, which is the 20 on the daily for Bitcoin, but it needs that relief before coming down some more, in my opinion. Let's see where Ethereum's in a bit of a similar situation. If I am to, this line moved. So if I'm to look at Ethereum, it's reached a massive support and resistance line. It's the neckline of this what I call like a peak formation, an M formation on the 1 hour. So if this breaks down, we're looking at a target of 930, just by conservatively measuring this peak formation. However, not 4 days, 4 hours. However, we are in this very long-standing channel. I'll switch to the day for you to see the whole. So this is the channel that it's been playing in since the all-time high. It's reached the bottom. Now of course the big question is it going to go for a second bottom right around the 800 area, or is it going to reverse from here and try to make an attempt at the 20 on the daily? Again, it looks very spilly. It looks like it really wants to break this support and resistance line. We'll see what happens when when we get there. On the shorter time frames, the MA situation for Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin's. We don't have support on the 4-hour or on the 1 hour. So until we get that officially, it's officially. It looks like it's coming down. Now it came down last night to. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. It came down last night to this line of support and resistance here. It was a little bit wobbly, which is slightly above the 1 on the fib retracement. At the moment, Ethereum has done its deepest retracement out of the 3. I've a 4-hour, so this is a 4-hour swing that's been very abrupt. And last night it challenged the midline. It looked like it was going to hold the midline, and then it dropped out towards the bottom. If I'm to adjust it slightly again, just to include it, that would be it. But we need to see if this is what this is. We need to see what this is. Is this going to be a bounce off this support and resistance, or is this actually trying to break it and come down to what would be a 1618 correction, 915, and a double bottom scenario. So this is where Ethereum and Bitcoin are. Again, to me, they're both reaching a very important support and resistance level, local and long term. Now we need to see if they're gonna break above them or break through them downwards. Today we'll have some retests probably. We'll see where price action decides to go. Remember to go with the market. If you see them breaking downwards and holding downwards, then the trend continues downwards. And remember to DCA if you are in longs on confirmation upwards. So just because it's doing a little lift doesn't necessarily mean that it's holding that support. Wait for the 50 on the 1 hour at least to be hold, or the 20 on the 4 hour to be hold for 2 candles. So the first one breaks it, the second one retests it. Wait for that 2 candle retest. That's it. Have a great day, and I'll see you at New York.
Super, thanks for Michaela. Guys, any questions?